Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
In today's world, it feels like we're all running a marathon, doesn't it? Trying to learn faster, focus harder, juggle everything all at once. It's a lot.
It really is. And that pressure creates this huge demand for, well, an edge.
Exactly, a mental edge, which leads us straight into this booming market for brain supplements, or nootropics, as they're often called.
Right. These compounds promising to sharpen you up.
Yeah, whether you're, a student cramming for exams, a professional dealing with intense projects, or maybe just someone wanting to keep your mind sharp long term, these things are everywhere. So our mission today is really to cut through all that hype. We've gone through the research, looked at the clinical studies.
Trying to separate the science from the sales pitch.
Pretty much. We want to walk you through what the evidence actually tells us about boosting memory and focus.
Okay, let's unpack this then. The whole appeal, fundamentally, comes down to biology, right? Our brains change over time.
Yeah, that natural cognitive shift.
Exactly. And for many, that means things like memory recall, how fast you think, problem solving. They might slow down a bit. That's cognitive decline.
So the supplements aim to step in there.
That's the idea. Preservation, mostly. And, maybe even some improvement, helping your brain function stay robust, no matter your age or what you're doing.
And the claims are definitely attractive. Looking at our sources, they seem to promise, four main things. First, the obvious one. Better memory, better concentration.
Standard stuff.
Second, supporting your mood, maybe keeping you emotionally balanced for that steady focus.
Makes sense. Then third, and this gets into the biochemistry of it, they often aim to reduce inflammation and fight oxidative stress.
Oxidative stress, like internal rust for the brain.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, damage from free radicals over time, it ages cells. So these supplements try to act like a shield against that.
Okay. And the fourth promise.
Just generally protecting against those age-related brain changes we mentioned earlier. A sort of broad defense.
What's interesting, too, is where these ingredients even come from. It's such a mix, isn't it? Some are just vitamins found in food.
While others are complex molecules, maybe synthesized in a lab to be more potent.
Right.
And that variety, well, that brings us straight to a really important point. This raises an important question.
Which is?
If there's so much out there, how do you know what actually works? They're definitely not all the same. And crucially, not all of them have solid clinical trials behind them.
So we need to start with the ones that do have some decent evidence.
Exactly. Let's build from the ground up. Where's the solid science?
Okay, let's look at the basics first, the things you often see recommended. Multivitamins, for example. Super common, especially for older adults. Kind of a catch-all approach.
A well-rounded baseline support, yeah, covering potential gaps.
What kind of surprised me digging through the research stack was how the thinking on multivitamins seems to be shifting a little. You always hear they might just be unnecessary for most.
Stints of urine. Yeah, that old line.
Right. But some recent trials, especially with older adults, are suggesting that taking a daily multivitamin might actually help slow down cognitive decline.
That is a significant finding. It challenges some of that earlier skepticism. It's not necessarily about giving a huge boost to someone already healthy.
More about filling those small gaps.
Exactly. Compensating for minor nutrient deficiencies that can affect sensitive brain pathways. If you're even a little low on certain B vitamins or maybe zinc, it can have an impact. The multi acts like a safety net, a reliable floor.
Okay, so that's the general foundation. What about something more specific, like omega-3s? The healthy fats.
Ah, yes, the heavyweight champion, you could say, of brain fats. You find these in oily fish, salmon, sardines.
And plant sources too, right? Like flax seeds, chia seeds.
Correct. Really important for people who maybe don't eat a lot of fish.
So if you're looking at a supplement bottle, it's full of acronyms. EPA, DHA. What should you actually look for?
You definitely want to look for EPA and DHA specifically. Those are the long-chain ones, the real powerhouses for your brain.
And how do they work? What are they doing up there?
Their role is fundamental. They are literally building blocks for your brain cell membranes. Think of them as making the cell walls flexible and healthy.
So they help neurons talk to each other better.
Precisely. Better communication between neurons. And that can translate into real benefits, potentially better memory, learning, maybe even more stable mood.
Sounds great. Are there any downsides? Risks?
Generally, omega-3s are considered very safe. But there's a bit of a paradox linked to how they work, because they help with circulation, and cell health, they can have a mild blood thinning effect.
Ah, okay. So if someone's already on blood thinners.
They absolutely need to talk to their doctor first. You wouldn't want to accidentally increase the bleeding risk. Otherwise, side effects are usually minor, maybe some mild stomach upset, that fishy aftertaste sometimes.
Okay, good to know. Let's shift gears then. Moving from these broad foundational things like vitamins and fats to the more targeted stuff.
Right.
Here's where it gets really interesting, I think. We start talking about specific amino acids, herbs from traditional medicine even, mushrooms.
Yeah, the landscape gets much more specific here. We need to look at the evidence for each one carefully.
Where should we start?
Let's begin with something structural. Phosphatidylserine. It's a type of fat, actually a phospholipid, that's naturally packed into your brain cell membranes.
Like part of the cell wall itself.
Exactly. Think of it as helping keep those membranes fluid and functional, ensuring the gates of the brain cells work properly, letting neurotransmitters do their job smoothly.
And what does that translate to performance-wise? What benefits do we see?
The studies here are pretty solid, especially for older adults. It's been shown to help with memory and attention. So if you're concerned about maintaining that structural integrity and recall as you age, this is definitely a top-tier targeted option.
Okay, structural support. What about performing under pressure?
For that, let's talk about L-Tyrosine. This one's an amino acid, a real powerhouse for stress resilience.
This sounds less about long-term brain health and more about immediate performance, like getting through a tough day.
That's exactly its niche. L-Tyrosine is a precursor, basically, a necessary ingredient for making dopamine and norepinephrine.
The focus and alertness chemicals.
Right. Neurotransmitters crucial for focus, reaction time, staying sharp. Research shows it can significantly improve cognitive performance when you're stressed, sleep-deprived, or doing really demanding mental work. Think tight deadlines, shift work.
It helps you keep going when your mental batteries are low.
Precisely. It maintains focus and alertness when your reserves would normally be depleted.
Okay, so we have structure with phosphatidylserine and acute performance with L-tyrosine. What about things that maybe work more slowly over time?
Good transition. Let's look at two that fit that bill. First, Bacopa Monnieri. This is an herb with deep roots in traditional Ayurvedic medicine.
What's Bacopa known for?
Primarily two things, reducing anxiety and enhancing memory. But the key difference here is that it's not like caffeine or L-tyrosine. It's not an instant kick.
It takes time to build up.
Exactly. It works best with consistent long-term use. We're talking weeks or months. So if you're thinking about cognitive support 6 months down the line, not just for tomorrow's meeting, Bacopa becomes relevant. It's more of a slow burn support for mental clarity.
Interesting. And the other one, you mentioned mushrooms earlier.
Yes, the one getting a lot of buzz right now, lion's mane mushroom.
I've definitely seen that one popping up everywhere.
It's a natural, edible mushroom, and the potential is genuinely exciting. Its proposed mechanism is pretty unique. It seems to stimulate something called nerve growth factor, or NGF.
Nerve growth factor, like
No.
fertilizer for brain cells.
That's a perfect analogy. NGF helps with the growth, maintenance, and survival of neurons. Early research on lion's mane is showing some really promising results, particularly for people experiencing mild memory issues.
But still early days.
Still early days in terms of large-scale human trials, yes. Promising, but we need more robust data before calling it foundational like, say, omega-3s. Got it. Now, there's one more we absolutely have to talk about because it feels like it's been on the shelf forever. Ginkgo biloba.
Ah, Ginkgo. The classic and somewhat controversial cognitive herb.
Why controversial? What's it supposed to do?
The main theory is that it enhances blood flow to the brain. Better blood flow means more oxygen, more nutrients, theoretically supporting brain function. It might also have some anti-inflammatory effects.
Why, I sense a but coming.
But the research is just really mixed. You can find studies showing some mild improvements in memory or cognition for certain people.
And then others showing basically no benefit at all.
Exactly. That's the conflict. It's definitely not the miracle cure it was sometimes marketed as. And that blood flow aspect raises the same caution flag we saw with omega-3s.
The blood-thinning interaction.
Precisely. If it worked by potentially thinning the blood or affecting circulation, taking it alongside blood-thinning medication could increase risks. So again, talking to a doctor is non-negotiable there. You can't separate the potential benefit from that potential interaction. Okay, so we've covered quite a range, from basic vitamins to specific herbs and mushrooms. Given the potential interactions and the mixed results for some, it really brings up a fundamental question.
Which is?
Can't we just get most of this from food? Are we better off just focusing on our diet?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Mm.
And the answer is overwhelmingly yes. A truly brain-friendly diet does most of the heavy lifting.
Like what kind of foods are we talking about?
Leafy greens, colorful berries, good quality fish, nuts, seeds, whole grains. These foods naturally provide a huge range of the nutrients we've discussed, including omega-3s, B vitamins, antioxidants, even precursors for things like tyrosine.
So supplements are really just for filling the gap.
Exactly. Filling specific gaps may be due to dietary restrictions like vegetarians needing B12, or maybe omega-3 alternatives or diagnosed deficiencies, or perhaps during periods of unusually high demand, but they shouldn't be the first resort.
That really highlights the need to be careful about the marketing noise then.
Oh, absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, you see so many products relying more on exciting testimonials. You know, my friend took this and felt amazing, rather than solid clinical proofs like we see for, say, omega-3s or phosphatidylserine for specific groups.
So how do you tell the difference? How can you be a smart consumer standing in that supplement aisle?
It comes down to being critical and informed. We could probably boil it down to 3 basic rules. First, read the label carefully. Know what's in it, and know the dose.
Rule 1, read the label, got it.
Rule 2, try to choose products backed by actual clinical trials, or at least peer-reviewed studies that you can look up. Look for evidence, not just claims.
Okay, prioritize evidence. Makes sense.
And Rule 3, just be immediately skeptical of anything making really exaggerated or unrealistic promises. Boost your IQ by 20 points overnight. That kind of thing. Instant fixes are not real in brain health.
Right, if it sounds too good to be true.
It probably is. So before anyone even considers starting a supplement, they need to take a step back.
And look at their own situation.
Yes. We'd say consider 3 essential factors. First, your current diet and lifestyle. Are you eating well, sleeping enough, managing stress? Or are you hoping the pill can make up for poor habits? Because it likely can't.
That's a tough question to ask yourself, honestly. Okay, factor 1, lifestyle.
Factor 2, any existing health conditions or medications you're taking. This is absolutely critical for safety, thinking about those interactions like with blood thinners we mentioned.
Crucial for safety. Factor 2, health status and meds.
And factor 3, get really clear on your personal goals. What are you actually trying to achieve? Better focus under pressure? That points towards L-Tyrosine. Long-term memory support, maybe phosphatidylserine or Bacopa.
Matching the tool to the job.
Exactly. Matching the ingredient to your specific realistic goal is key to seeing any potential effectiveness.
Okay, so lifestyle, health status, goals.
And underlying all of that is the final, really crucial safety message. Supplements are supplements. They augment, they don't replace.
They don't replace a healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely not. They don't replace a balanced diet, good sleep, exercise, stress management. And effectiveness varies wildly from person to person. What's fascinating here, and really important, is understanding that talking to a healthcare professional isn't just a checkbox exercise.
It's about making sure it's safe and right for you.
Precisely. Ensuring the choice is safe and actually appropriate for your unique body and situation.
So, wrapping this up, it feels like the takeaway is there are some options with decent science behind them. We talked about the solid evidence for multivitamins in certain groups, the power of omega-3s.
And the more targeted, promising ones like Bacopa or lion's mane, they'll maybe need more research.
But you have to be really selective, really critical of the marketing hype.
Definitely. Which leaves us with a final, maybe slightly provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider.
Go on.
The science consistently points back to lifestyle, right? We know optimizing sleep, diet, exercise, these things powerfully support brain function on their own. So here's the thought. When someone starts taking a brain booster supplement, they often also start paying more attention to their health overall. Maybe they try to eat a bit better, sleep a bit more consistently.
Ah, I see where you're going with this.
How much of the benefit they feel is actually coming directly from that pill versus how much is coming from the positive, healthy habits they adopted at the same time they started taking it?
The placebo effect, or just the effect of finally prioritizing brain health. Correlation versus causation.
Exactly. It's that essential question, something to really mull over, perhaps, the next time you find yourself reaching for that supplement bottle. Or maybe reaching for that spinach salad instead.
A very interesting point to end on. Food for thought, indeed.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.